leader this year. Good. There's probably many of you that I haven't had the pleasure of meeting. I am Deb Bolkin. I'm the current OWA president, and it truly is my honor to welcome you to the 8th annual OWA Champagne Breakfast. And it's, in my opinion, the kickoff event for Vision Expo East, so I know we're all going to have a great weekend. This morning, we are delighted to celebrate the 2023 Pleiades Award, Pixis Award, and the Emerging Leader Award. And it's a little bit of a telltale sign here. We're also here, and we felt it was very meaningful as we continue to grow. And one of our goals is to really create some more awareness. We would like to share with you past, present, and most importantly, future, which we want you all to be a part of. So, with that, I'll be joined today to tell this story of our past president, Maureen Kavanaugh, and our future president, Dr. Lauren Lipyak. Please welcome them.
Thank you, Jeff. I'm Maureen Kavanaugh, the past president of the OWA. And it's truly, truly amazing that during Vision Expo East over 25 years ago, a small but inspired group of women came together with an idea of supporting women within the optical industry. They felt the need of supporting women and giving them a clear path to professional development so that each of them could excel in their career and be ready to adapt to the changes of diversity and inclusion within our industry. They had a vision that women could bring to organizations like never before and felt that it was their duty to amplify this effort. So years ago, these women forged ahead and founded a nonprofit 501c6 known to us as the Optical Women's Association, whose mission is committed to supporting and promoting the professional development of women involved in all facets of our optical industry. So whether you worked in an optical laboratory, retail, contact lenses, equipment, technology, or as an optician or an optometrist, you could benefit from being a member of the Optical Women's Association. There's networking, there's education, and there's peer support. The OWA created a platform to help women succeed and to navigate their own career path. As the vision of the OWA evolved and expanded in time, we still maintain that focus of the OWA's founding principles and core mission. Throughout the years, a continuous flow of dedicated women volunteered their time to bring the OWA to new heights. We recognize the need to strike a balance between volunteering and meeting the needs of the future of our association. Therefore, we created bylaws. We hired an executive director. We partnered with a third-party management association to help us lead the way. We launched several initiatives to attract new members and sponsors, and to maintain our financial independence, and to live up to the rich heritage of attracting talented women dedicated to advancing the OWA. We created committees. We honored women like we're honoring here today. Strengthened our sponsor relationship and created a strong pipeline of aspirational board members. In addition, after many discussions of how we could engage our male counterparts, we added the inclusion of men to sponsor our organization as individual contributors, supporting our robust scholarship program. Now, this scholarship program allows an individual OWA member to attend a leadership workshop to enhance their ability to succeed in their career. As we continue to evolve, we researched our multi-generational member base and wanted to embrace diversity and inclusion, not only within our members, but within our board. Because of this, I'm excited to share that we added our very first board member, as an emerging leader representing the next generation of young talent. So as you can see, we've certainly come a long way in 25 years. We're so proud of our progress and what we've made over the last several years. We would like to thank some of the inspiring founders that are here today that took a leap of faith and invested their time and efforts to lay the foundation to what has become a successful association embraced by so many talented women and so many companies within the optical industry. A special thank you to Marge Axelrod, Jean Scott, Val Manso, just to name a few. As you can see, our past has certainly laid the foundation of our present success. Thank you.
I would say we've accomplished a lot in the past 25 years. Presently, the OWA is a leading female organization in our industry. Just literally look around the room. I'll share a little secret. Back in the ladies' room, a woman's in there and she said, "Are there men out there too?" Yes, come on out. Thank you for being here. If you are a woman and you are engaged at any level, we're your go-to enhance your leadership development. And we are humbled truly by the fact, and this has happened very recently, that other countries, and thanks to Marge for helping support at NITO, and other industries are looking at our association to emulate. And I cannot think of a better comment or appreciation to see what everybody has done to this point to get us here. Our nominating committee, which is the committee that actually seeks out future talent for us, they're comprised of pretty highly esteemed past presidents. So I'd like to take a moment to thank Robin Crimmins, Tiara Claxton, Maureen Kavanaugh, Ann Engler, who couldn't be with us here today. Sherry Robertson is here today, Lorinda Fagoni, and Mark Tadmore. If you ever wondered if the OWA was for you, we hope to answer that question today. The OWA welcomes newcomers. You do not need an invitation. And one of the board members asked a key person in the industry, "Are you coming?" And the answer was, "I didn't get an invitation." So please pass the word. You do not need an invitation. We would love to have everybody. We want to thank our sponsors and individual contributors for sure. All of our company sponsors value the benefits and they actually give us input to what we should be providing our member base. They want you, if you are an employee of a sponsored company, they want you to engage and join in the membership and ensure that you're preparing yourself for future career needs of your organization. So Maureen touched on the Leadership Scholarship, and I'd like to just say a little bit more about it because that first year, I'd like to talk to John and Neil, who should be here in the room. There you are, John. And John was our first Leadership Scholarship awardee, and that was back in 2019. And through continuous support of our sponsors and, yes, our individual contributors, we actually are at 19 that we are able to provide for a member. So very exciting. And those awards are $2,000 a piece. And there's amazing, what we've seen already. Jana went to Kimberly Davis, right, I think. Some of our members have actually gone to somebody from Exotica, Wharton, Valley Leadership, Yale, and Harvard as well. So it is a really esteemed honor to win this award. We have successfully adapted our program for benefits to be accessible anywhere, to meet the members' needs in this ever-changing environment. And I think we really showed that through a couple of years of COVID. Not only did we engage our members, but our sponsors grew. When everybody was thinking there's going to be some retraction, we were very, very excited and honored to have additional sponsors through that time. So a couple of things for the present that we are providing to our membership. OWA Talks. It's a podcast format where our members can stay abreast of industry trends, focus on self-development, and honestly find inspiration. Thank you to all of you who have been guests, and I hope if anybody is interested, please reach out to us. We would love to have a great showing from anybody in this room. In 2022, we actually launched the OWA blog. And this was created to be a platform for our members to share best practices and enrich the lives of their peers. And what's really amazing is when you, as an employee in your daily life, when you have an opportunity to share your passion through any one of these vehicles, you really enrich the rest of the membership. So we thank you to all of those that have contributed there. In 2022, we also launched OWA Full Circle Impact. This was a program structured to ensure that the 13 current, and even more importantly, ongoing board members could create a positive ripple effect in mentoring, coaching, and sponsoring. And we've understood that hundreds of our members say that is the real key. They won't take anything away from Lori's future. But what we're understanding is there's more one-on-one connection, more real mentorship to help people through either their daily lives or certainly through their profession. Our Connections and Enrichment Committee initiated a survey, and we're always looking for feedback. So if you grab anybody after the coffee and breakfast, please share your feedback. What are the kinds of needs you have? This particular survey actually showed that women in our industry and members wanted a retreat, where members could spend quality time focused on a myriad of personal and professional topics. So I have a spoiler alert. This kind of gives me a little bit of chills, but OWA Unplugged is here. It's coming in October. We are really excited about it. And we will be hosting members to a weekend full of connection, inspiration, networking, and certainly fellowship. So whether you become a board member, who's interested in the retreat? Anybody? Yes! Oh, we need to show. At first we're thinking, well, maybe 30 max, maybe 30, but I would feel like we're going to be topping that. So whether you become a board member, serve on a committee, or just leverage the many resources the OWA provides you as a member, know this. We see you, and we hope that you will join us in making the next 25 years just as extraordinary as the first. I'd like to once again thank our sponsor companies and individual contributors for their support. We ask you all to continue to look at women, to balance your teams and leadership in your organization. So now, let's look forward to see what our future holds.
Wow, what a morning, huh? Good so far? Thank you, Deb. I'm Dr. Lori Liviet, future president of the OWA. Thanks for being here this morning. Looking forward, we certainly want to build on the rich heritage and foundation that our legacy members have established and the progress that Deb's leadership has provided. However, as I look to the future, I'm looking at all of you. The fortitude and stamina and desire to continue our mission has not only remained strong, but has helped advance the professional and personal success of women all over North America. And our story is being shared globally. Thank you, Mark. Women excel because of the OWA, and we look forward to impacting even more women as we continue our journey. The OWA will remain unique in that our representation of members encompasses all aspects of the optical industry, diverse in nature. Our members learn, grow, and serve as mentors for those looking to succeed. The investments that we've already made lay the foundation for our future growth, and we ensure that more women in the industry will be reached as we add more members and sponsored companies. The companies that support the OWA, which is most of you in this room, so thank you, value our organization and recognize that the value that we provide their employees in their career development is important. As co-chair of the Professional Development Fund over the years, many of you have spoken to me about this and have elevated your sponsorship as a result of it. One of the fundamental principles of the OWA is that we meet people where they are, both in their careers and their personal stage of life. We see you and we hear you. As we move forward, we will connect women with opportunities through mentorship, friendship, and networking to develop professionally. This organization has provided pathways for many individuals to succeed simply through connection, support, and inspiration from other members. We will work relentlessly on providing avenues for women to thrive. We will provide the value that members are looking for. As Deb mentioned, we're looking constantly at feedback, we're looking at surveys, and we're looking at you. We will continue our existing programs, add additional value with new programs, many of which we aren't even aware of yet. We are building tools to help women connect more easily and seamlessly across all aspects of the industry. Our goals include remaining agile in the moment, keeping a close pulse on current trends, and seizing opportunities when they arise. We encourage your membership and involvement in the future of the OWA, and we offer a clear, simple path for engagement through committee work, committee leadership, and finally becoming inspired to be on the path to join our board of directors. For those of you in the audience who are our future members, join us. Bring your ideas and be part of our future. New members are the lifeblood of the OWA. Together, we're the past, present, and future of the OWA. Our vision is strong, and we want to share that with you now.
We saw you. We saw you overcome adversity. We saw you crush every struggle, outsmart every challenge. We saw you move up, tear up, and light up. We also saw you fail. We saw you miss the mark, fall short, fall down, but we saw you get back up and hold on courageously. We saw you refusing to look back. Now, we want to see you doing what inspires you, doing what scares you, taking chances and taking charge. We want to see you lead with purpose and with heart. Because at OWA, we see greatness when we see you.
Of the OWA and our large network of supporters, including the sponsor of today's event, SOO Exotica. To share why SOO Exotica has always seen us and long supported the OWA, please welcome the President of North America Wholesale, Fabrizio Bugazzoni, to say a few words.
Thank you, Deb. First of all, I want to thank you very much, OWA, Maureen, Deb, and Dr. Lori Lippiat, because what they're doing is great. Everyone is defining their event like the iconic, the kickoff of the Vision Expo East, I'm sure Visual Monday defined yesterday's summit, the moment. I believe if you look at the room today, I hope I'm here speaking on behalf of everyone, not on behalf of one company, not on behalf of one sponsor, but on the behalf of all the industry. That what OWA did in the last 25 years is extremely remarkable. From being that organization starting from nothing, and now being an organization that everyone in the industry, colleague, competitors, friends, I would call family, is here in this group. It's incredible, and I want to thank you, all the past and the present and the future presidents of OWA. Congratulations. I also want to congratulate today honorees, Karen, Beverly, and Talia. I don't know where's Beverly, I know it's her. There. With some of you I had the pleasure to work with, to partner with, and someone I had the pleasure to look from the outside what the great work you're doing. And I believe every year there is an amazing group of honorees, and I don't know how we can find always such an inspiring group of women in our industry for what you do every day. For everyone, for our patient, for the industry, elevating the role, inspiring the people, and being definitely a role model for all the women in our industry. I was thinking about today being the day, it's Women History Month. Just a few weeks ago was International Women's Day. And I saw a quote that I wanted to take care. I don't like Women History Month or International Women's Day. Because it means we still have to remember and we still have to work on making an equal world. I like those days a month to be something to celebrate and not to create awareness. But until that day, they are so important for all of us to remember. And if there is one only call of action, I had a former boss, which was really good in having always a call of action. Make everyone in your company, in this group, part of your OWA. That is already enough. Make everyone in your team, your company, you're already here, so you're already an amazing sponsor of this organization. Make every one of your companies, as Deb said, come to the event, support, like the post online. Just something as simple as that is going to create an event like today, where in the room there are 400 plus people, which is insane, and create the awareness about how important it is to elevate the role of women everywhere, and we're doing it in our industry. For all of that, thank you very much for coming today. It's so much appreciated, and so much appreciated you did at 8 a.m. with any more and serving a coffee, not champagne. But thank you very much for all what you do every day for this organization. Thank you very much.
So, now on to what everybody's been anticipating, obviously, the awards. So, the Emerging Leader Award is presented to a rising star in the OWA who exemplifies leadership qualities and a distinctive talent within the optical industry. To introduce our emerging leader honoree, please welcome Alessandro Ferranti, President and CEO of Dorigo Round.
I'm a smart guy because I surround myself always with beautiful girls. Can you believe it? Well, it's an incredible honor to be here this morning in front of all of you. But mostly it's an incredible honor to be here to honor somebody very special to me and to many of you that had the opportunity to get to know her and to get to work with her. It took me a very long time to be able to summarize the hundreds and hundreds of reasons that I have to define Talia amazing in 10 concise attributes. And the first one is that Talia is a super wife, and George is a lucky man. And I want to thank Mario and Antonietta for making Talia. And Mario and Antonietta, as I told you at dinner the other night, I wish you made $20 more like that. I would love to hire all of them. The reason why Talia, she's a super wife, because she has an incredible relationship with George, with mutual respect. And sometimes she tells me, Ale, next week, I cannot really do that because I committed to George, because we're alternating, because our priority is our family and our kids. And I have the utmost respect. Not to say that she's not working that week. Believe me, Talia works, I don't even think she sleeps at night. But this balance that she built with George, and I haven't had the opportunity to meet George, but for me, is very, very special. The mutual respect that Talia has for George and George has for Talia make this relationship amazing and makes Talia really a super wife. The most important thing, she's a super mother. And the reason why she's a super mother, because not only she works full-time, and believe me, full-time, she's also very involved with OWA, but she's raising these two amazing girls, Sinia and Antonietta, and also, who are we missing over here? Panos. So let me ask you, Antonietta, why is your mom such a great mother? I want to share with all of you that Italia delivered three amazing kids, Panos, Antonietta, and Sinia. And you need to know that she never took a single day of maternity leave. Not a single day. And it was not because we asked her not to take a maternity leave, believe me. And when Talia takes a day off, I have to force her to take a day off. And even though she takes a day off, she still works. And I have to call her and I have to say, stop answering to emails. Stop taking phone calls. You know, this girl is absolutely amazing, amazing. Determination. Talia never gives up. I never met in my life a person as determined as Talia. She has one of those attitudes that everything is possible, both in life and in business. Dedication. She's the most dedicated and loyal person that I ever met in my life. In my career, I had the opportunity to get to know and lead hundreds of people. And I would put Talia Bruno in the top 5 individuals that I ever led in my career. Passion. She's extremely passionate. And with that, you have to accept both sides of the passion, right? And there is the side of dedication and hard work, and also there is the side that I have sometimes to step back and listen to Talia. And be patient, you know, because she's a tough cookie. She's a AAA personality defined as a shark, you know, a go-getter, a true go-getter. And with that comes persistency, right? When Talia wants to do something, believe me, there is nothing that can stop Talia. She has an above and beyond type of attitude. She's a customer-centric, and like I never seen anybody before. Talia loves her customers, and she really, everything that she does is keeping in mind the needs of her customers and also the needs of the company as well. Her customers are her friends. Her customers are her life, and that's one of the reasons why her customers love who she is. She's a driver. She has an analytical secondary personality type, which makes her invincible in this difficult world where, you know, men still try to dominate the environment, right? So I'm so proud of this organization that is pushing women to emerge and really eliminate this stigma of the men needing to dominate the work environment. And at the same time, as strong as she is, she's also as a caring at the same time. And Talia, I feel privileged to be your friend.
Sandra, thank you for that introduction and for always putting the spotlight on me. I'm so grateful for you and Nicola. I must say I'm humbled and honored and excited to be in your midst today receiving this Emerging Leader Award. As I do so, I wish to recognize the presence of the OWA board and its members who have guided me to where I am today. You see, in the last 14 years, I've had the privilege to have access to some amazing mentors who have provided me with the tools and skills to succeed. Jan Corey, thank you for the early guidance in my career and for always providing me with reassurance whenever I felt that doubt. Sue Downs, thank you for the advice on how to take control of my career path and how to manage that work-life balance. And Thank you for all the optical onesies you sent me for each kid I gave birth to. Megan Maloney, thank you for helping me truly understand my value and giving me that guidance and that courage to ask what I want for, and always with grace. I wish to recognize all the women in the room today who deserve to be standing up here with me. I see you all, and I'm fortunate to be in your presence. And lastly, I'm really honored to be an award recipient today, together with Dr. Beverly Bionis and Ms. Karen Roberts. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm the product of the American dream. I wouldn't be standing up here with all of you if it wasn't for my parents. You see, in hindsight, I think that if I wasn't a child to immigrant parents raised in the inner city of Brooklyn, presented with the various economic hardships growing up, I would not have been successful. Everything in my life has always been this one long attempt to show that my parents that their sacrifice was not in vain, and to show the world that I could rise above the social economic status that I was born into. You see, during my journey, doubt and insecurity had always presented itself. I didn't come from a family of white-collar workers. I was a latchkey kid, money was tight, and I was also being raised differently than my American peers. But when my parents even moved us out of the inner city into the suburbs of New Jersey, those insecurities, they didn't go away because I was different from everyone. But it was these insecurities that made me driven to prove that I could do anything as long as I focused and worked hard. I didn't attend an Ivy League college. I didn't even go to a private university. In fact, I waitressed on the weekends to make money. I maintained an office job full-time, and I would drive over an hour to attend a state university for 4 years. But at age 21, that first goal was met. I was the first woman in my family to graduate with a college degree, and I did so with a 3.8 GPA as magna cum laude. My second goal was reached when I landed my first corporate job immediately after graduating with the Molson Coors Brewing Company. And from that moment on, I drove forward. I understood my power. Each milestone was accomplished with overcoming rejection and embracing that failure and using it to become driven. But at the same time, I surrounded myself with positive and hardworking people who inspired me. And this is where I will heavily emphasize to join the OWA. And if you're not yet, please consider to become a corporate sponsor or an individual contributor. Now my goals and passion are to share my learnings with my mentees, my colleagues, and I want to be that positive person for the people around me. And I want to help them achieve their dreams and celebrate their successes. So thank you, Mom and Dad, for believing in me. I love you both. Antonia and Xenia, you can accomplish anything you put your mind to, and Mommy and Daddy love you. And lastly, and certainly but not least, he's not here today, but my husband, George. None of this can be accomplished without your love and your constant support. And thank you for watching panels while I accept this award. My journey has taught me that you learn more from failure than from success. Don't let it stop you, as failure builds character.
This award is presented to a member of the OWA who actively participates in the organization to set the direction of the organization by her actions. The recipient of the Pyxis Award is exceptional in her commitment to support and develop the OWA and our continued growth. Because of the close connection they have formed, Deb has been asked to introduce our Pyxis Award honoree.
It was fortuitous that our next honoree and I met for the first time in July of 2019. We were in Como, Italy, for an exotic experience that I was very excited to host. We have a local legend here, John Benizio, which we brought to Italy one of my customers, and I had the pleasure of hosting Drs. Beverly and John Pack from out west. To say the 4 people that were in that group hit it off would be an understatement. We had a blast, and it's wonderful to see how close the friendship has become. There were moments that Beverly and I found ourselves talking about our amazing children and our family, challenges for women in business, and how we hoped our daughters and daughter-in-law would benefit from the paths we had taken. She shared how much she had gone through change, and at some point you confided in me that you're at a crossroad. I know she's about to share her inspiring story, so I'll share how she got to this prestigious award. Before we left Italy, I took the opportunity to tell her about the OWA and what I loved about being a part of an association dedicated to supporting women in every step of their journey. She was curious to learn more, and if you know Beverly, curiosity is a big part of who you are. She wanted to learn a little bit more. We stayed in touch, and she joined, I want to make sure everybody heard 2019. She joined the OWA in August of that year and came out to Vision Expo West to see what we were all about. In thinking back, I know what she was going through. Already an accomplished optometrist, a successful businesswoman, a proud mother of 2 aspiring children, a wife and partner in a loving and supportive relationship, she still knew she had a lot more to give, and she just needed the support and the platform to do it. During Expo, I introduced her to many of the board members, and many of our sponsors got to know Beverly that year. And it was like she had her glasses for the first time. You know, when you're in 6th grade, and you see, for once, what you've been missing all along. And she just flourished. To say that she jumped right in and joined multiple committees, and the ideas were flowing. A few months later, when COVID shut down our world, she proposed a new way for us to connect with members when they needed us more than ever. Virtual coffee talks help many women navigate what sometimes seem as insurmountable daily challenges of working from home, caring for our sick, and educating children, and honestly keeping our sanity. A few months after that, after the May of 2020, when the world erupted over George Floyd's senseless death, Beverly created Food for Thought, a way for us to share our customs and heritage simply by recording a video and a favorite recipe. She wanted to show us that understanding each other's traditions and how that shapes who we are. And it can help us to be more understanding and respectful of our differences. During our connection series in Vegas last September, she asked a longtime friend, Dr. Connie Mariano, to share her story about being the first ever female White House doctor. It was an absolute honor and a thrill to meet Dr. Connie as she goes by, who asked me to share about Beverly. She truly deserves this award as a woman of vision for her dedication and diligence in her profession, and as a role model for other women professionals. In your program, you can see the many ways Beverly is engaged in living her best life. Every day, she pays it forward with compassion and purpose, and we've all benefited greatly for her intentional choice to connect. When she asked me to present her with this award, I thought about it for a few minutes, and knowing that he is her biggest champion, I said, should you ask Johnny? His nickname is Johnny West. We have Johnny East here from the Bronx. We have Johnny West. Should you ask Johnny West? And she said, a good wife, I already did. And he said you should present the award. So I would like to thank Johnny West for giving me this honor, and to please join me on stage to present Dr. Beverly Beyond's Back as the 2023.
Woo! Woo!
Thank you, Deb. It means so much to me that she's standing right next to me
because I'm here because of her. She asked me a simple question. Do you know about the Optical Women's Association? It only took me 30 years. I do now. But before I start, I also want to thank my husband, who's been my partner in life and partner in my career. I also want to thank my family here. Even though I did yell a lot of times, you guys are still my biggest cheerleaders. I thank you, my friends, my dear friends who are all here supporting me. And on Facebook Live, thank you, Mom. You know, my mom and dad, thank you so much because you sacrificed a lot for my education as well. So good morning. I watched a mass given by Pope Francis, and he described a time when he was in his helicopter, and the pilot said he couldn't land because the fog was so dense. They circled around in this fog until the pilot shifted his focus. He saw a small hole, and he took it, and they were able to land safely. Sometimes this is us, aimlessly wandering in our misery. But Pope Francis said, God is good. He gives us opportunities, but we just need to see them. In March 2020, beginning of the pandemic, I was aimlessly lost. The lockdown for 3 months where I couldn't see patients, the change in my business model left me with uncertainty and just a lack of clarity on my purpose. I was circling in this fog, mourning a loss of an identity that I built for 30 years. But during this time, I received an email invitation from Deb inviting me to join the OWA committee, membership committee, to join their conference call. I probably received many of those emails since joining in 2019, but I decided to take this call. On this call, they were discussing the topic of, as much as they always care about the members, how can we connect with the members to feel how they can feel connected and supported during this difficult time. And with the task on hand, I realized being creative is where I find my energy. And creativity sometimes comes at the oddest times and the oddest places. For me, my best ideas come to me in the shower. So I took a lot of showers. The idea that I came up was, as Deb said, was a virtual cafe. Because you know, a simple coffee can bring all of us to a space where we can connect and to share. So coffee break, connecting one sip at a time was created. I remember the first coffee break. The women that joined were so open to share their fears and frustrations during this challenging time. But you know what? I witnessed senior vice presidents and regional managers reach out with so much compassion and offering guidance and mentorship. I knew I belonged to a community that was special. I found my opening. In ways, the pandemic and the change were a blessing. I was given a permission to focus on openings of opportunity that I would have never explored. I got the freedom, the gift of time and the isolation gave me the freedom to learn new things, to develop my talents, to find my purpose. I discovered a side of me that just wanted to come alive. I am so grateful to OWA for providing me that space to refocus my energies, to develop my talents, to grow and create. When I see my face appear, I see the faces of the friends that I connected with. I see my OWA besties who have always supported me and cheered me on. I see the faces of leaders who led me and inspired me. Thank you, OWA, for being the opening that allowed me to land safely. Thank you.
Hard to get it together. How about these award honorees? Absolutely amazing. So for our final award each year, we offer a Pleiades Award that honors an individual who has shown exceptional support in advancing the leadership role of women in the optical industry. This award is named after the star cluster, the Pleiades, also known as the Seven Sisters. Together, these stars create one of the brightest clusters visible in the Northern Hemisphere. Just by working together, the women of the OWA have created an organization that is bigger and brighter than the sum of their individual efforts. To introduce our Pleiades Award honoree, please welcome Ashley Mills, Chief Executive Officer of the Vision Council.
Honestly an honor and a privilege to be here today introducing our Pleiades Award winner, Karen Roberts. Karen, I have known you now for 7 years, but that isn't even reflective of how long you've been serving the Vision Council in a leadership role on our board of directors. We figured out yesterday that Karen has been on the board for 10 years, and we are certainly better for her contribution. When I first met Karen, it was in a board meeting, and it became clear that Karen was brilliantly intelligent, and that's an understatement. But what really characterized her contribution that I noticed immediately was the questions that she asked. She asked the smartest questions, questions that might have made some board members uncomfortable, questions we needed answers to in order to make the right decision for the Vision Council. And so I think by virtue of her participation in that capacity, she helped set a tone for the Vision Council's board of directors and ultimately the organization that we have to make smart, data-based decisions. And that's not scary, that's right. So a few years back, when it was time to start thinking about who would move through the leadership pipeline on the board and take over eventually as chair of the board of directors for the Vision Council, I wanted the person who was going to ask the questions. We needed someone who was going to challenge us. And we, I'm sorry, cornered you in Las Vegas over a very inauspicious coffee breakfast. And we asked Karen if she would consider taking on the role of vice chair, which also means chairing our show committee, and then moving up into the role of chair of the organization. And of course, she thought about it, and she had to think for a while about whether or not she could devote the time. And I mean, this is a 6-year commitment. She's already 4 years into her board role. And thankfully, she came back to us and she agreed to take on this challenge. That meant that Karen enlisted our rising leaders within our organization to try to drive change for the Vision Expo show to make sure that it's relevant and the right show for the future. Among other things, she was present when we had to make a terrible decision 3 years ago to cancel Vision Expo East. And bless her heart, she assumed the role of chair virtually in quarantine, where our weekly meetings were at 5:30 in the morning for Karen, and she was already well into her day, already having worked with her colleagues in Germany. So I was her 5:30 a.m. As she lives in Australia and was there for the duration of the pandemic. So we trade seasons. You'll see in a moment when she comes up and radiates her late summer Australian self to you. But I've traded a couple seasons with you over the last few years, and I want to thank you for what you've done for us. Karen's leadership took our board of directors through a time of crisis, certainly for the organization, but she led so steadily and so confidently and so conservatively that we're without question in a better place than we were even before the pandemic, and that's truly saying a lot. Karen also, of course, is always driving, pushing, helping us all be better. She enlisted Harvard Business School and took the board of directors for our retreat up to Harvard this year, where we were focused on priorities and resourcing and strategy and leadership. And we've had some really dynamic conversations at the board level about where this organization should be going, and that is all thanks to Karen. So time, we all know, is like our most precious resource. It's the one thing none of us have enough of, and you can't make more of it. But I have to tell you, and I've asked people from Zeiss who know her, how does she do it? And the response is always the same, like, well, I don't know, she's just amazing. But I do think that I'm still convinced that there is some kind of superpower there, because I swear this woman somehow makes more time, and we're all just so grateful for it. So I asked Karen, she was rotating now into her 6th year, or her last 2 years of a 6-year process as immediate past chair, and we were talking at the executive summit in Austin, and I asked her, I'm like, Karen, I have to know, like, how do you do it? Because I've never seen an off day. I've never seen her phone it in. I've never seen her at half capacity. She's always 100% in it, and great. And so I was like, just tell me, like, come on, how do you do it? And I think the answer is an inspiration. It's something for all of us to take away. But the answer was something to the effect of, if the work is purposeful and interesting, it doesn't drain you. And I think that really characterizes your approach to how you've somehow managed to give so much of yourself to the industry and the Vision Council. I know your team admires you tremendously, but thank you for leading with purpose and showing us that it's not draining if it's your passion and fun. So, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in
Well, that was a hard act to follow. Good morning, everyone. So thank you, Ashley. Thank you for the very kind words. Certainly, we worked very closely together during the crisis, and I also commend Ashley and her team on their willingness to change, be incredibly agile and very flexible about providing services to their members during that period. So it was definitely a team act, and definitely one where the board and some very capable people on the board made a big difference. So let me start by thanking OWA, obviously for the Pleiades Award, and the recognition that goes with it is an honour. Certainly it's rather wonderful to be up here and looking at everyone. I was very surprised when I was notified, because I was sitting at my desk in Adelaide, Australia, and I got a phone call and I didn't recognise the number, and I nearly didn't answer on the back of having 2 scam calls earlier in the week. When I did finally answer, it was with a very gruff hello. And the lady at the other end of the crackly line started talking about an award, which of course confirmed my suspicions that it was a scam. Fortunately, Deb persisted in explaining who she was and why she was calling. So I had to make that mental shift from transferring a large sum of money to a Nigerian bank account. Processing what she was telling me, being incredibly surprised and very honoured, very humbled and very delighted to be recognised for something that I'm extremely passionate about, and that's women having a voice, a seat at the table and positions of influence. So after 38 years in the optical industry, I've had some incredible mentors, including many amazing women. And obviously that creates an obligation to play that forward and try to mentor women and create as many opportunities for others, perhaps that start with a more disadvantaged position. My advice generally is if you aspire to roles of influence, you have to take a seat at the table with the implicit belief and behave as if you have a right to be there. That it's absolutely normal for you to have a voice, right for you to be able to make a contribution, and that comes with an obligation to make a contribution. In my experience, if you're earnest in earning your own stripes and you treat others with respect and are equally inclusive, it will stand you in good stead over time. When I started my engineering degree back in 1980, which seems like a lifetime ago, actually it was a lifetime ago, there were only 10 women in 350 first-year engineering take, and so I didn't know that many people. But at every engineering lecture, physics lecture, math lecture, everybody knew me, including all the faculty members. So that put you in the spotlight very early as a role model, whether you want it or not. And frankly, it wasn't that different when I started out as an electrical engineer in the optical industry a few years later. So what to do in that situation, I think, is it's important to speak up, it's important to be thoughtful, and it's important to be collaborative. And I don't always get it right, and I still don't, but somehow you have to not be so self-conscious that you're rendered voiceless or that you conform because it's the easier path to take. We all know businesses are better and more profitable when the outcomes are driven with diversity of opinion and diversity of experience. So you owe it yourself to be authentic and to use your voice appropriately. Change takes time, it takes patience, it takes tolerance, and also because we're a very diverse industry, like many others, it requires you to be equally considerate and thoughtful of where other people are coming from. I certainly believe our industry has transformed dramatically over the last 38 years that I've been involved, and there are many, many more opportunities for women. I've been extraordinarily lucky to have lived and worked in many different countries. I've had many different roles, many amazing experiences, worked with many amazing people. I've always been lucky to have been surrounded by smart and capable people who have challenged me, stretched me outside of my comfort zone, certainly inspired and guided me, including many of my Zeiss colleagues who are here today, so thank you. And I've had the good fortune to work with many of you in this room, powerhouse personalities who have shaped and influenced the industry as it looks today. Certainly, many of you as well have become friends over the years, which has been wonderful. It's been a pleasure to work with you and to collaborate with you, and an honour to be inspired by you. Organisations like the OWA are very important because they provide a safe and supportive environment for women to have a voice, but also to flourish. I'd like to congratulate the OWA on their consistently good work, sustained and very important over many years. I'd like to congratulate Beverly and Talia. Having heard you this morning, certainly impressive and clearly well earned. So to finish off, the Pleiades Award was a great honour, certainly a surprise. And I'm very grateful to the OWA for the award and the opportunity to be with you here all today. Thank you very much.
Does anybody else think my voice is rough? Actually, it's high pitched, it's All right, well, I just want to first say, again, congratulations to Talia, to Beverly, and to Karen for their awards this morning. I'd like to ask all the honorees to return to the stage, actually. After our last champagne breakfast, we asked attendees what they enjoyed most about the event. And it was hearing from our honorees about their experiences. They wanted to learn more, so this year we're asking our honorees a few follow-up questions so we can learn more about these amazing women. I'll leave it to a dear friend, Robin Crimmins, to lead it.
Thank you, Deb. Good morning, everyone. What an amazing event. First of all, I'd like to congratulate our award winners, Talia, Karen, and Beverly. You inspire all of us. As Deb said, at the end of last year, we asked you, the attendees, what you wanted to see in a program like this. And what you told us is you wanted to hear a little bit more from our award winners about their journey, about their leadership journey. So that's what we're doing today. Now, we're a little bit behind schedule, and I want to respect that all of you have places to be. So we're going to cut it a little bit short. We had questions planned this morning, but we'll just stick it to one. We'll stay to one. So, we'll start with Talia. Talia, what advice would you give your 18-year-old self as you look back on your career?
Love yourself, because we're our worst critics. So learn to know yourself, learn to trust yourself, and learn to love yourself, because at that age, that's really where those insecurities come in. So if I were to give that, I would say to really know yourself and love yourself and trust yourself.
Thank you. What a great message. Karen, what advice, looking back on your career, what advice do you wish you had been given?
Actually, it's very similar to Talia's. I think you can't be too harsh on yourself. There are plenty of people lined up to judge you throughout the course of life. At some point, you have to back yourself to win and give it your best shot. If it doesn't work, you learn from it and you try again. So don't be your own worst critic, and definitely believe in yourself that you can deliver.
Thank you. Beverly, how about the same question for you? Looking back in your career, what barriers have you had to overcome, and what advice would you give yourself?
I would say don't get inside your head so much. Sometimes when you get rejections, you just kind of sometimes think you're not enough and you go small. I heard a virtual event given by Jamie Kernina, the founder of It Cosmetic, and she was rejected so many times, but she landed a $1.9 million contract with L'Oreal, and this is what she said. Rejection sometimes is God hiding your value because they were not part of your destiny. And that resonated with me because sometimes rejection is just redirecting yourself.
I like that. Wonderful message. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being here today. I'd like to bring up Deb for some closing remarks, and Talia, Karen, and Beverly, once again, thank you so much, and congratulations to you on behalf of OWA.
Congratulating our award winners again, and I wanted to say thank you to our sponsor, Exotica. We welcome all of you to our 10-hour cocktail party that we'll be having on Friday at the Optical Lounge at the Javits Center. And we really, truly encourage everyone to connect. Please join the OWA, and I appreciate Fabrizio's message to everybody, echoing the fact that so many sponsors in this industry are showing their support of their female employees, so it's up to you to take the first step. We encourage everybody to take the flowers. Nobody is going to look poorly on you if you happen to be walking out with them. We would love for somebody to enjoy them on their own. So, we want you to join, as I said. As you see, we have a rich heritage, a very strong presence, and when we see the future of the OWA, We see you. Thank you.